Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a genuinely unforgettable piece of history, the story of Malik ibn Dinar. This is a truly profound account of spiritual awakening. It's a beautiful, striking reminder about strengthening your belief and turning back to Allah. Honestly, it's a story of tragedy, sheer terror, and ultimately incredible redemption. Let's get right into it.
Now, I want you to ask yourself something. What if your own actions actually took physical form just to hunt you down? It's a pretty heavy thought, right? Imagine every choice, every bad habit, every deed you've ever committed suddenly materializing right in front of you. Would it be a protector or would it be a monster? Keep this in the back of your mind because it is the absolute core of the journey we're about to take.
Part 1. A tragic and carefree youth.
So back in his youth, Malik ibn Dinar was a policeman. But, he wasn't exactly the picture of piety. He led a very carefree life and drank heavily. His life was just sort of coasting along this unburdened, somewhat reckless trajectory. That is, until it was completely derailed by a devastating event.
And that pivot point, it revolved around his absolute pride and joy, his dearly loved daughter. Tragically, she passed away when she was only 2 years old. Losing this innocent child left Malik completely stunned, just absolutely heartbroken with grief. Carrying the suffocating weight of this profound loss, he tried to mask his pain by leaning even harder into his heavily intoxicated lifestyle.
Part 2. The Terrifying Dream.
Picture this. It's the night of the 15th of Shaban. Malik goes to bed heavily intoxicated, totally skipping his Isha prayer. But this wasn't going to be a peaceful night's rest. Far from it. That night, he experienced an intensely vivid, terrifying dream where he actually witnessed the day of resurrection. And in this vision, he wasn't just a passive bystander, he was the prey.
Out of nowhere, he realizes he's being chased. By what? A massive, furious snake. I want you to picture the sheer scale and aggression of this creature. The dream is accelerating, his heart is pounding, and this monstrous entity is aggressively bearing down on him. And the details the source material gives us are just wild. This wasn't some blurry shadow. The snake had these piercing, blue, cat-like eyes, locked directly onto him. It's this hyper-focused, predatory gaze that sends absolute terror through Malik as he literally sprints for his life.
And its mouth was wide open. The dramatic tension here is peaking. Malik is desperate. He's running as fast as he humanly can, completely overwhelmed by this terrifying force of destruction that is mere inches away from consuming him.
Right in the middle of this frantic escape, he bumps into someone. It's a frail old man, dressed in elegant white robes, who smelled incredibly sweet. Malik, desperate and completely out of breath, begs this old man for help. He pleads with him to fend off the snake, but the man just weeps. He tells Malik that he is far too weak to defeat such a mighty, overpowering foe. He simply doesn't have the strength to save him.
Part 3. A Miraculous Rescue.
So the old man points Malik toward a nearby hill, telling him this is where the sacred trusts of Muslims are kept. With the monstrous snake drawn closer and closer by the second, Malik forces himself up that hill, and when he reaches the top, he is met with a breathtaking sight. He sees a crowd of innocent children, and their faces are described as being as bright as the full moon. And there, standing right among this glowing crowd, is his own deceased daughter. Seeing her dad in such absolute panic, his daughter springs right into action. She darts across to him, pulls him close to her bosom, and literally just with her right hand, she motions the terrifying snake away. And the threat halts instantly. She then sits in his lap, tenderly strokes his beard, and brings him much-needed comfort after this harrowing chase.
Sitting there in his lap, she looks at him and recites a profound verse from the Quran. Has not the time come for the believers that their hearts should submit in all humility to the remembrance of Allah and to the truth which is revealed? That's from Surah Al-Hadid, verse 16. Delivered with deep emotional gravity by the child he mourned so deeply, the words strike him to his very core. Moved to tears, Malik asks her the question burning in his mind. What on earth was that terrifying snake?
Part 4. Meaning behind the symbols. Here is where his daughter drops a chilling truth. That massive snake, it represented his own evil deeds. Because of his carefree, intoxicated lifestyle, he had fed those deeds, nurtured them, and made them so overwhelmingly strong, they were literally about to push him into hellfire. And the frail old man, He represented Malik's good deeds. Because Malik had completely neglected his spiritual life, he essentially starved his good deeds, leaving them so scarce and weak they couldn't even fight for him when he needed protection the most.
And what about those glowing children? Well, she clarifies that final symbol too. The children on the hill were the infants of Muslims who had passed away. They wait there to be reunited with their parents, specifically to intercede for them on the day of resurrection.
Part 5. A profound spiritual awakening.
Malik jolts awake, and the sheer terror of that blue-eyed snake is still sitting like a heavy weight on his chest. It was a mirror held right up to his soul. The impact of this dream was immediate and it was absolute. He turned to Allah in sincere repentance, abandoned his evil ways entirely, and completely dedicated his life to Islam. That carefree, intoxicated policeman, he was gone for good.
Because of this incredible awakening, he completely flipped his life's trajectory, eventually becoming a great, highly respected scholar. And his transformation didn't just save him. He actually became a means for thousands of other people to be guided to the straight path. The man who was once hunted by his own misdeeds literally became a beacon of light for others.
So this brings us right back to you and the powerful allegory at the center of this whole story. Which of your deeds are you feeding? Every single day, with every choice we make, we are either strengthening the snake or we're strengthening the old man. Think about Malik ibn Dinar's amazing journey from a heartbroken, wayward policeman to a guiding scholar, and ask yourself, what shape are your own actions taking today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.